You are listening to the Love and Confidence Podcast, episode number 132. Welcome to the Love and Confidence Podcast. If you're a woman who wants to feel more irresistible, have more fun, and create deeper and more authentic connections, this podcast is for you. I am your host, certified life coach Lærke Nielsen, and I help you become the best and most confident version of yourself so you can attract the love life you desire. Let's get started. Hey there, welcome back to the podcast. Today, I want to talk about a thing or a phenomenon that I sometimes see and that I think is important to know about because it's something that you can change if you want. And that is a situation where, for instance, you sign up on a dating app, you create a profile on a dating app, but maybe it's not the first time you've been there and you had some really bad experiences in the past. So you don't have so much hope that it's going to go differently this time. And you almost can't even bother doing it. You tell yourself that you have to do it. You have to create a profile because you're not meeting enough men in your daily life. So what else to do? You have to create a profile, but then you just don't have the energy to do it in a positive way. And already before you have created your profile, you expect that most men you meet in there are going to be low effort type. So guys that don't respond to your messages or that only respond, hey, what's up, and stuff like that. And you already feel tired before you have even created this profile. And here's what I sometimes see happening is that if we have this thought from the beginning, men in the dating apps, they are generally just not making an effort. Either they have too many choices or they just never interact with women in real life, so they don't know how to do it and they're not willing to make an effort. So I don't want to do that either. Why bother? And this could mean that you decide you never want to be the first one to write, or you never want to make an effort in setting up the profile and only use photos that are maybe a little bit outdated and you can't really bother taking new photos. And then if you start texting with someone, you might get annoyed after already one or two messages and you believe that now you can already tell how it's going. You already decided ahead of time that it's not going to go well with the date. So you don't even allow yourself to be surprised. And this is something that our brain does to us when we have a lot of negative experiences. We want to try to protect ourselves from having that again. Your brain is going to want to protect you from feeling disappointed again. And that's why sometimes we jump to the conclusion early on that it's probably not going to work for me this time around either. And this guy is probably just a low effort guy and the date is going to be really boring and so on. I know this too well from myself. And then we think that based on a very few information, we can already tell who this guy is, what kind of person he is. And we can already tell that this is not going to lead anywhere. And so I want you to know that it's completely normal to think like this. But here's what happens if we show up in that energy and we don't want to make an effort unless we see someone else going first and we want them to make an effort first before we try to do something. Then what is the signal we send out in the world? If you imagine someone who has a profile with blurry photos and who doesn't write anything in the profile, or at least she doesn't write what she really genuinely wants because she thinks it is being too vulnerable and she can't admit that she wants a real relationship. So she's more just adding the most necessary information and nothing else. And this could actually look like someone who isn't really sure what she wants and why she's even there, or if she even wants to be there. And this could easily be someone where the low commitment or the avoidant guys, they would feel okay reaching out. It's not that they feel particularly attracted to when they see a profile that looks like she's not really sure what she wants. But in contrast to the other profiles where someone states very clearly what they want, a low commitment guy, he would try to stay away from those because he would know that he can't get away with not wanting to put a label on things, not wanting things to move forward, and so on. The signal we send when we don't make an effort to begin with is a low commitment and self-doubting signal. And what happens then is we kind of create a self-fulfilling prophecy So we start out by thinking that they are not making an effort, so why should I? And then we don't make an effort. And then we don't meet anyone who makes an effort, because we basically only attract those who are in the same energy as ourselves. We attract guys that don't want to make an effort if we, to begin with, also don't want that. So it's not that you are actually causing the problems, but the thing is, you might be blocking for the solution. If you can imagine on the other side, someone who can stand in their power and look straight in the camera and look in someone else's eyes and say, yes, I am looking for a serious relationship. This is what I want. I want something long term. This kind of woman will probably not appeal so much to a man who knows that he isn't looking for that. As I said before, he would know that she's not going to hang around with me once she finds out that I don't want that, and I just want casual relationships, and I don't want to talk about the future. And the more you can show up as a woman who is absolutely sure that she wants a serious relationship and who is willing to put in the effort that she also wants to see from a man, the more you will attract someone who is at that same frequency, and you will push away the guys who are not. Again, it sounds like a cliche, but it's actually true. You attract what you are a match to. What you project into the world, your energy is going to attract someone in the same energy. And yes, it's true, there are plenty of guys who's not worth making an effort for, who is not themselves making an effort, and who's not looking for anything serious. But if you decide that because of them, I'm not going to make an effort myself, you're making yourself less visible to those who are worth it and those who do want the same for you. And you're also giving away all your power to the low effort guys. You are letting them take charge of your dating life by letting them decide that you're not going to make an effort for the other guys. So what is it that I recommend doing instead? And I want to just say again, I understand that it can be very easy to fall into not wanting to make an effort yourself if you met many men who didn't want to make an effort on their side. I mean, it's normal and it's a natural way to react, because in the end we can't bother anymore and we are already disappointed with the first message. But the moment we give up making an effort, we also only get really low effort connections. So it's about taking back the focus to who you want to be in dating, not who you think someone deserves you to be. Now, this is an important shift, and I want you to really let that sink in. This is about who you want to be in dating. What is the woman you want to be? And not so much who deserves what from you. You can sort of reverse engineer in thinking about the kind of person you want to attract. What is his energy? What does he do? How does he show up? Is he positive and optimistic? Is he giving a connection a chance? Is he assuming the best about other people until he sees something else? And what is his level of effort? And then think about what is the kind of woman that matches him. What is the kind of dating partner you want to be yourself? Because no one is stopping you from having values and ideals for your own behavior. And instead of only showing up as that person when you believe someone is going to deserve it, someone is going to be worth the effort, don't let it be someone else who gets to decide how you show up in dating. You get to decide that. You can decide to be a woman of high value, a woman who always makes an effort, who always shows up at her best self, unless she realizes that the person she's texting with is not a good match, and then she just lets him go. No drama and no complaining, no energy drain on the low effort guys. Just let them go. Because doing this means that you preserve your energy to showing up as the woman you are in dating, aligned with your values and regardless of the other person. You don't show up on a date if you don't actually want to go on it, or if you have already made up your mind about him. That would be wasting your energy, and that would be a very low value behavior. As long as a guy is not out of your man funnel, then he is in. He can be a soft maybe, but he is inside the funnel. And you treat him as a potential partner. And then if at some point you realize that there's a deal breaker, he's very far from being your match, then you just peacefully let him go. And I feel it's very important to emphasize that you don't let the low effort guys pull you down and turn you into someone who's spending all her energy complaining and feeling frustrated. You just let them go, and then you move on in your up-leveled energy. Remember who you are and who you have decided to be in dating. Keep your dignity, keep your head high, and preserve your energy. So this is definitely something I recommend, and it might be a little bit counterintuitive in the beginning, but as I said before, you always have the right to let someone go. So you don't have to force yourself to show up and make a huge effort for someone who repeatedly shows you that they are not making an effort. That's not the idea. But before he shows you that, until you know for sure that it's a clear no, then you want to treat him as if he could potentially be someone that could surprise you. And once you decide that he's not, then you just let him go. So before we end this short episode for today, I want to share with you that I have created a new free resource. And it's called 7 Steps to a Joyful Life with or without a man. And this is a guide with 7 different steps. And these are 7 steps that I find really important in living a fulfilling and happy life. And under each step, I give you some tools and I give you some questions that you can ask yourself and even some small action steps to take. And then in the end of this guide, you will find a worksheet for tracking your progress and another worksheet for setting intentions. This is all about living your best life, whether you are single or not. It's not a dating guide, but indirectly you can say it is, because the point is that once you're a woman who enjoys her life, who has a purpose that she feels strongly about, who is constantly growing and learning, and who has a rich social life, then you will become very attractive to a man. So you are becoming a magnet for the right person. But that is a bonus. The main product is that you are living your best and most meaningful life. So I'm actually very proud of this guide. It's relatively simple, and in my opinion, it has some of the most important things to live a fun, exciting, and meaningful life. And you can get this guide for free. You just have to go to my website and look under freebies and then sign up for it. And I also put a link in the show notes so you can find it there. If you're listening from a platform with no show notes, then you go to lærkenilsencoaching.com, lærkenilsencoaching.com, and on this side you will find a page in the menu that says freebie. And I'm also gonna put it on my Instagram bio, so you can go on @lærke_the_love_coach and click on the link in the bio where you have access to a lot of different things. So I'm gonna put it there as well. So go and sign up for that and try out some of these steps and see how it can change your life. Just doing small steps at a time, a little bit every week, and setting intentions for your future life, and see how this will change how you feel about yourself and your life, with or without a man. So this was all I had for you today, and I want to thank you for listening all the way to the end, and I will be back next week. If you like what you're hearing on this podcast and you want to get support from a coach on your love journey, I invite you to book a free consult call with me. You will find the link in the show notes. And also, don't forget to subscribe, and I would love it if you would rate and review this podcast, and then you'll also help other women find it.